Good morning, good morning. Sorry I'm a little late. Let me start out first. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Deja, Ms. JJ Diamond, Jackie. This morning I had to talk to one of my youth. As y'all know, I run a business called Private Friend Incorporated, which is a nonprofit. And sometimes they need someone to talk to, so I'm that go-to person because I've been through a lot in my life. And they all wonder how I overcome a lot of things. And before I get into talking about my marriages, I just want to express this for the youth. A lot of the youth has been coming at me with life is so hard and it's got to be hard in order for you to get where you need to be. And in actuality, that is not true. Life is really not that hard. Granted, yes, on the ground, being out with demons like the police and evil people, yeah, that makes it hard. And I agree with that part of it. When you walk the streets every day and you don't know what's going to happen because you're dealing with demons, you're walking around with demons every single day, but I do want to talk about this because, when something comes to you twice, I always take heed. I've always been the person that if something comes to you twice in about a situation, then you must address it, and I don't have one, but I have two that feels like life is really, really hard, and it's sad, one is really young and the other one is like mid age, when I say mid age and early 30s, and they feel like life is really hard. I mean, granted, it can seem hard if you want more than you can achieve. Okay? First, you have to achieve the little things. If you can't achieve the little things, you can't achieve the big things. Okay? Once you've been an achiever of the little things, that's when you can achieve the big things. See, when you're dealing with God, okay, God takes you on levels of life. Okay, and you have to learn as you go. Okay? And that's what the Bible is for. Okay, people don't, everybody stay away from the Bible. But the Bible teaches us that we have to have discipline. And if you don't have discipline, enough discipline to even pick up the Bible and read it, you're going to fail. Because all the information you need on how to live your life is in that book. Okay? So even if I know people say, oh, they changed the words, they did this, they did that. You're always going to have these extra analysts. Okay, but if you use your common sense in your mind and add these things to your life, life will be a lot easier. Okay, we go astray. Sometimes we say we're not going to sin anymore, and we do. But God knew that because that Bible wasn't complete with everything. Because he didn't realize the challenges that some of us will have. Okay, especially in today's time. So, with that being said, it takes you as a human being to realize what you need to do and what you need not to do in order to stay happy within. Okay? Jesus Christ sacrificed himself for all the sins that we make. Okay? The reason why he sacrificed himself because he knew it was no control in the people. That some of the people was going to continue to do wrong to others, to do wrong to themselves. People create their own issues. They are demons within and don't even know it. Okay? And I try to tell people every day, the devil is going to attack you, especially when he knows you're weak. When he knows you're weak, he's going to find a way to attack you. Okay? And going to find that way to attack you. Now, I'm going to use this for instance. Y'all always know I always talk about myself. I never talk about others unless I have to. If they involved and they got a ties on me, I have no other choice. But majority of the time, I don't talk about others. I talk about myself. Now, I've had allergies all my life, okay? And I've been through so much with these allergies, fighting these allergies from young, 14 years old. And I'll take medicine, try to get better. Anybody that's been around me, they used to call me a walking pharmacist because I would have so much stuff, medications and stuff in my purse. No matter where I went, I had to have, because I had stomach issues. So I had to have my Tums, my Gas-X, my Lanta, then I got allergies, so I had to have pain pills, and I had to have all these things in my purse in order for me to feel good. Okay? Now, I lived my life like this for a very, very long time, okay? And I still do. Okay? I've taken some of the stuff off my list. But not everything. Some things I just can't function without anymore. Okay? Now, I've been a driver, okay, from the time that I've started driving. I was even driving with no driver's license. The judge had to tell me, look, you have to get your driver's license. And I said, excuse me, my allergies are bothering me this morning. But I've taken my pills and hopefully I'll snap back. And I said, okay, if that'll make you happy. But I didn't realize it's going to make me happy. Okay. And, he said, I'm ordering you to get, I'll never forget it, Buffalo Courts. He said, I'm ordering you to get your driver's license. When you come back in this courtroom, you better have your driver's license. I said, okay. So I did everything he asked me to do because I knew I didn't want to go to jail. So I said, let me give these people what they want, okay? But in actuality, I was giving myself what I needed, okay? And see, once you do things, even though people are forcing you to do it, you can see the light, okay? You can see why. You can look back and say, now I understand. I got that driver's license, okay? Not even a year and a half after that, I got a CDL. Okay? Now, I'm not only licensed, but I am a professional licensed driver to make money. Okay? Now, I'm not telling y'all to follow my steps. I'm just telling y'all the way God works. Okay? So by me listening to that judge, help me put money in my pocket. Okay? Now I'm a professional driver. So I can go make money. I can go do this. I can go do that. I can always get a job. Somebody needs a driver, especially when your license is clean. You don't drink. You don't use drugs. Ain't nothing on your license. You ain't got no points. They used to look at it if you didn't pay your registration. They used to look at that in court. And now the judges is trying to start staying away from that because they know that puts a damper on your financial. So, excuse me. So, they have went away with that. They know that it's in the law, but they say we'll suspend that because we know you need to go to work. Because you got a court fee you got to pay for being in my courtroom, so you got to go to work. Okay? So they learned all the tricks of the trades, But the point that I'm trying to make people, I've been driving all my life. You know what I mean? I had jobs that I was able to take because I had a clean driver's license and other credentials as well. But it always got me where I needed to be. Okay, now when I got here to Charlotte, my allergies were so bad, and they still so bad. Like right now, I can't even see. Okay, I mean, I can see, but everything is hazy because I wake up with these allergy issues. Okay, and if I don't have the right medication, this is how I'm going to be all day long. I won't be able to see. I can see who you are, but you look hazy to me. So who wants to get behind of a wheel when they're like that? So I said, okay, now this is the way I've been making my money all my life. I said, now, God, I know this is not you trying to stop me, okay, because this is not what you do. You let me fly through life easy. So this is not your doing. It was the devil, okay? I came to Charlotte. They didn't know me. They didn't know my body. The doctors the doctors here are real evil, okay? They're real evil here. They don't listen to you. They want to do what they want to do. Okay, and when you get to an age like 50, okay, by this point you know your body, and if you don't, something is wrong with you. You know what you can handle, you know what you can't handle, you know what you can take, okay? So if I'm telling you that this medication is not working for me and you constantly giving it to me, and I've been dealing with these allergy issues since I was 14, okay, it's 35 years. Why are you constantly giving me this stuff? That's not working. Now you're trying to destroy my heart because the medicine will have my heart palpitating. Okay? I have to take antibiotics on a regular when I wasn't like that before. Okay? I was taking antibiotics maybe twice a year. I took antibiotics here in Charlotte 6 times a year. That was unheard of. All my life, I've had allergies. Okay, even when I was in Maryland. And the most I've done was 3 times a year because I would mess up and my truck would get dusty from the boxes when I was working for Frito-Lay. And I'll splash the dust up in my face and when I'm cleaning it and I'll get a sinus infection. Okay. But the point that I'm trying to make is I moved here and it's like the devil just tried to destroy me. Okay? So, when stuff like that happens, and like I said, I'm just using this as an example because this is something that happened to me. Okay? And it tried to take my life down. And the devil is still trying to work on taking my life down because the devil knows your weakness. Okay? But you have to overcome that with God's word. Okay? And that's the way it works, people. When God took that away from me, the devil took that away from me, meaning my allergy issues and all that stuff, I found other ways to progress. Okay, so he was defeated until they gave me what I needed. Okay, and now that I got what I needed, I'm coming back little by little. Okay. Like, matter of fact, as we speak, the medicine is starting to work, and I can see a little bit clearer now. And I noticed that just that quick, by looking up at the trees, because the trees will look like, how you look at something in a blur? That's how it looks, people, when your allergies and sinuses start acting up. It's really, really dangerous, okay? Especially when you're behind the wheel. But the point that I'm trying to make is, the devil tried to defeat me, but I didn't allow him to. I found a way. And this is what God wants us to do. If he lead us down a path, just follow it, because you never know. The end of that path could be your best journey, your best chapter of your life. Now, everything else surrounding me was pretty okay, except for some minor things, that I don't want to talk about. But for overall, I was still in good health, but I had my allergy issues. So that was keeping me from getting money. Now, how am I supposed to go to the doctor and tell them, or say I apply for SSD? I can't see because of my allergies. They're not giving me SSD because of allergies. So the doctor's got to get it right. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't settle. And this is what people settle, and this is why their life is so hard. They settle. They say, okay, this is what life is supposed to be, especially when they're around a lot of demons and a lot of wicked people. No, that's not what life is supposed to be. Look on the other side so you can see what life can be and what it's supposed to be. You know, a lot of people call me different. Okay, whatever. I don't care. How can you go through life not getting high? How can you go through life not drinking? Because I don't want it in my life. That's why. God didn't say in the Bible that I had to smoke weed. He didn't say I had to drink. Now, for those that do, that's your life. I don't care about what you do, because that's your life. That's your budget. It doesn't fit in my budget. Okay, because I got other things that I like, that I have addictions to. So, we all have addictions. You know what I mean? But it's what your addiction is. Is your addiction destroying your body? I already take enough man-made medication when it comes to my allergies. So I feel like I don't want to put nothing else in my body other than food. I have that right. I have a choice. So for those that decide, I'm going to use myself again. When I went to the dentist to get my teeth done, I had to get my teeth pulled, and they said, do you want the gas mask or I said, no. You're going to stick my needle in and do what you got to do. And they was like, ooh, she about that. They funny over there at the dentist. Yeah, I don't have time for you giving me all these extra drugs, shutting down my body and my mind, which can affect me 5-10 years from now. And then I'll be wondering why some shit is going on in my body. Stick the needle in. I know the effects of the needle. They're going to prick me. It's going to numb up. In a few hours, it'll go away. I'll flush my system, and it'll be out of my body in 24 hours. Okay? They said, what kind of pain medication you want? You want some hydrocodone, some Percocet? Nah, I'm good. Give me some Tylenol. You have a choice. I was in the hospital with pneumonia in Maryland. Hartford Memorial. I had pneumonia. Almost died. Oxygen level was 11. Okay? I woke up one morning. I was in the hospital. I was crying. I kept coughing. I couldn't breathe. And the guy was saying, the nurse said to me, you're going to be okay. He said, do you want some Xanax to calm you down? And I said, ain't them drugs everybody on? And he laughed. I said, nah, I'm good. I'll deal with this through God. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And the next thing I know, the doctor was releasing me after they told me that they wanted to do a biopsy. Okay, they said, we want to do a biopsy because we believe you either have scardosis or you have cancer. And when I went back to the doctor, I had to go get chest x-rays. Okay? And I went back to the doctor, and he said, well, I'm going to rule this out as pneumonia because they couldn't give me a diagnosis. He said, because all of that, those shady points that was on your x-ray, they're gone. So I'm just going to rule this out as pneumonia. Now, just from having pneumonia, I could have became an addict, a Xanax, not knowing that these drugs is addictive. But I could have became an addict. But it was my choice to tell them, no, I don't want it. The devil will not get me. I'm sorry. And this is what y'all have to say. No. Just because somebody else is doing something don't mean you have to follow. Do your own thing. Take the steps to move forward. Stop stagnating yourself. And I think I talked about stagnation the other day. Stop stagnating yourself. This is what people do. They stagnate themselves and then they want to use other people to help them come back up. Instead of using yourself because you stagnated yourself. Because you wanted to be with the in crowd. You got to find people like you in order to elevate. And that's just what it is. It's a part of life. It's in the Bible. This is what you have to do. The words of Meek Mills, it's levels to this. And if you don't understand those levels, you will not move on to the next one. You will be stagnated. Now, I know this podcast was supposed to be about, my marriages and stuff. But I had to. It's like God told me, before you talk about anything else, you need to talk about this. And see, I fulfill what God asks. And people say to me, why, you so blessed. And it's not, for one, I don't look for more than what I need. And anything else that God gives me is a blessing. That's why a lot of people's lives are hard. If you can accept the things that you need is there. When you get more, you appreciate it. Okay? So, follow me, people. I want y'all to follow me on this. If God has given me the bare minimum, meaning I have a roof over my head, I have food in my refrigerator, I have clothes that He gave me throughout my life, okay? I have a car outside. I have the bare minimum, and I'm thankful, okay? And anything else He gives me is extra. That's where my blessing comes in at, okay? Because He's already given me the bare minimum, and I'm blessed for having that, because some people don't have that. But now, you got people. I was listening to, what's it? I don't know if it was Styles P. One of the rappers. He was talking on the YouTube, and I was listening to it. I don't know if it was Styles P, but I was listening to it, and he was saying, his mother had went to jail. I think I don't know if it was him. I don't quote that it was Styles P, but his mother had went to jail, and there was no food in the house. And something about he was thinking about robbing something or something he was saying. I don't want to get it all messed up. That's why I don't really want to talk about it. This is why I don't like to talk about other people's issues. But just using that concept. If his mother was in jail and he needed food, I know it was somebody in his neighborhood that would have helped him. Somebody. Okay? And this is the train of thinking that we have. Okay, if we don't have this, we got to go out and get it big. For right now, all you need is nurturing so you can wake up tomorrow and figure all this out. Now, everywhere we live, no matter where we live, we got to live with other people. Even if it's in a suburban area, in a small community, is houses. People have seen you in the community. So you telling me you could knock on nobody's door and say, hey, Miss Smith or Miss Brown, my mother got locked up and we don't have no food in the house. Is there any way you can help me? And most likely she's going to say one or two things. Baby, Come on in here. I got some food for you. Or, baby, I can barely take care of myself, but guess what? Let me make a phone call, and I'm going to find somebody that's going to come and help you. That's unity in the community. Okay? Communities help each other. That's the way it works. It's always been like that. When I lived on Cortland Avenue, it was a many of people, and I won't call their names, that came to my house hungry because they didn't have food in their house. And they'll say, Jackie, can I have dinner with you? And I'll say, let me ask my aunt. And my aunt will say, now, why would you even come to me and ask me that? All you had to do is say, set another plate. Do y'all get where I'm going with this? So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You don't have to go rob and steal, but that's a choice. You chose to. When all you had to do was maybe ask the neighbor. I always use I always say this. Some people have too much pride. Too much pride that it'll kill them. Instead of just telling what your problem is. People tell me, Jackie, sometimes you talk too much. I talk too much, but I get the services I need. That's why I talk so much. Because whatever person that God put me in front of, and I told them what I needed them to know to help me, and now I have been delivered. Because I told them, I'm going through this, blah, 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 blah. And they be like, hold on, but you can do this, and this. For real? Thank you. God has answered my prayers. But everybody wants to be so quiet. But they'll talk about negative stuff. They'll talk about people. This is what bothers me. They'll talk about everything else, but they won't talk about their problem. And then wonder why they can't find a solution. The only way to find a solution is if you ask. Because if you don't know, and this is where, people, they call people stupid, they call people idiots. You know what I mean? But if you don't know something and you don't ask, you are an idiot. You are stupid. And then when you get the information, if you don't follow it, you're still stupid. Okay? So, let me tell you, when I was in Maryland, I used to work at Frito-Lay. And I'd go out there and do some work. And my DM will come to me and he say, look, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. And I'll tell him, you know what? I don't see it happening. That's what I tell him. And he's like, well, I'm the supervisor and I'm asking you to do this. Okay. And I would go out there. I wouldn't argue with him. I'm not going to argue with him about something that I already know ain't going to happen. I go out there and do exactly what he said to do. Knowing he's going to fail. But it's not my loss, it's his. And I get to prove him wrong. So I win. Oh, you understand? So I would go out there, do what my supervisor told me to do, exactly the way he told me to do it, bring the numbers and put them on the table, and when they flop in his face, I get to say, I told you so. I like that word. I told you so. Because I seen it happening and you didn't want to listen. You wanted to use your power to play your part when I knew it wasn't going to work. And now you got double the problem. And I'm not here to fix it for you. Aha. So sometimes you gotta even allow other people to destroy themselves so you can tell them, I told you so. You should have just listened. So it works on both sides, people. You know what I mean? It works in everything that you do. When you sit down and analyze something, and you analyze the greatness that can happen and the bad that can happen, you always find yourself in the middle, which is balance. Okay? You prepare for the worst and be happy if you gain the best. And that's what life is about, being balanced. And if you can't be balanced, it's going to be a rough road. It's going to be a rough road. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All of these men that God asked to write down their lives in this Bible, if they didn't tell us their lives, we wouldn't know what's going on today. We wouldn't know about God. We wouldn't know about praising. We wouldn't know about praying. We wouldn't know about all of the demons that was in the Bible, and these men had to fight against them to continue to live God's way. We wouldn't know all of this stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with asking, how can I overcome something? But you have to follow it. Ain't nothing wrong with asking somebody if you hungry or you need something. You may not always get it, but sometime you will. It's like yesterday. This old man outside, and he said, "Ma'am, you got any change? I'm trying to get some medicine and some food." Now, I know, most disabled people are waiting for the first to get their check, and at the end of the month, things are rough, And I said to myself, ooh, I'm broke. I ain't really got no money to give them, But then I went and found some change in my little purse. I said, I'm going to give him this. Because when I told him I didn't have it, he didn't get an attitude. He said, well, God bless you. Because see, I needed the blessings as well. And I said, thank you, you as well. When I got in my car, God told me, give him what you got. Because I'm going to bless you anyway. And God did. Do you understand what I'm saying to y'all? I went to work and made some money. I only had 60 cents. And I went to work and made some money. That same day. Because God said, you give it to him, I promise I'm going to give you some more. And he did. So this is where I'm going with it, people. You have to follow the signs of God. You can't work for both. You can't work for the devil and work for God. You can't do it. Granted, sometimes we get weak, and then we got to ask God for forgiveness and keep moving and try to do it right the next time. But you can't keep trying to work for both. It don't work that way. Now, I'm wasting this whole podcast on, they go to Geisha, y'all. They flying in. I'm wasting this whole podcast on trying to help people realize that life is really not that hard. You have to look at the circumstances. Like, I was upset about my car. My car is acting up, still acting up, but it's rideable, I haven't had my car that long, but anything you run and not take care of, it breaks down, just like your body. I was looking at Facebook the other day, and they had a post up there that said, crackheads live longer than vegans. Don't believe that. because they'll beat their bodies down for years upon years and upon years. And eventually the body breaks down. You know, is this guy on from the Bronx called Iron. You know, I watch his podcast in the mornings. You know, he gives me a lot of inspiration. And, you know, his theory is, and I believe in this theory, I live by this theory. If you take care of your body now, as you get older, it'll be stronger to maintain. Okay? And it's a true fact. People can say what they want to say, but you got to take care of your body and your mind. You just have to. If something is making you miserable and it's destroying your mind, get away from it. It's simple. Can't nobody stop you. It's your life. It's your choice. The first thing, though, people have to realize is you have to be comfortable with yourself. And if you can't be comfortable with yourself, things are going to be really hard. And that's when I say comfortable with yourself, being able to be by yourself, please yourself mentally, okay? Be able to do things to make you happy. You know, I love a lot of these YouTubers. I watch YouTube a lot, y'all. And you have a lot of these YouTubers, they paint, they do crafts, they do all kind of stuff. And they're doing it by themselves. And it's making them happy. I mean, granted, it made them some money, but it's making them happy. They're happy doing it. And this is knowing your self-worth and knowing who you are. What makes you happy? I love, what's her name? I think, is her name Zala's Play? I think Zala's. Yeah, I think that's her. That's my favorite. I think that's her. She be making squishies. And she take the squishies and remake over the squishies. And she was getting so many squishies in the mail. She was like, ooh, now they doing too much because now I got too many squishies. I think that's her name. I hope I'm not getting the wrong person. But I love her. I lay in the bed at night when I'm about to go to sleep sometime and just watch her. And she's so funny. She's so funny. And she does it by herself. So we have to learn to be by ourselves, to be different. God didn't want us to all be the same. You know, this lady told me when I first came to Charlotte, we don't like perfect. Okay, well, I'm not perfect. I'm different. The world wouldn't go around if we were all the same. And y'all are trying to all live the same lives. Y'all want to be drunks. Y'all want to be drug addicts. Y'all want to be whores. Y'all trying to make time stop. We're supposed to be different. Get your life. And I tell people this all the time. You know, they look at me like I'm crazy. Get your life. You know, I always live by this. You know, and I tell people this all the time. You know, one of my favorite rappers in the game, female rappers in the game, is Nicki Minaj. A lot of people know that, you know. And one of her favorite sayings, my favorite sayings of hers is, y'all just alive, y'all not living. And it's true. Y'all are just walking zombies. You wake up, you get high, you get drunk, you figure out where you can take something, where you can do, you know, anything to do wrong to try to make something better. When it's already there. If you got enough money to get up and get high and get drunk, then you should have enough money to do any other activities that you needed. I tell people I can't get drunk and high every day because it's not in my budget. Because when I want to go get me a weave or some new shoes, I got the money. I'm not spending $20, $30 on a bottle of liquor when I could have went to the store and bought me Gladys Cap. If I go to Walmart, buy me a whole outfit. Or get me some craft things that I like. Or get me some new body wash. Or whatever the case may be. I can't fit that in my budget. I just can't. What do you love more? And that's the way you got to look at it. It's just not in certain things. It's just not in my budget. And what's not in my budget is getting high and drunk every day. And if you don't like it, then you ain't got to be around me. And I could care less. Because I'm okay with me. And that's the way y'all have to be. Y'all have to be okay with you. Oh, believe me, if you don't do the same things other people do, you'll see them disappear. Easy. Tell you when God do things, it's easy. It's not hard when God has his hands in it. It's easy. Well, this podcast is completed and the end of it. And I'm gonna have to do a second podcast on the marriages after this. But I had to fulfill what God asked me to fulfill because I took on a job, and that's Private Friend Incorporated, to help the youth in anything that they ask. They need help in and information that they need. So I had to complete that job and telling them the process. You know, what's his name? Mano. I love Mano. He always say how he say it? Something is in the process. Then how did he say it? Oh boy. He has it on his page, y'all. He's a rapper. But he says something in the process. I can't remember how he say it. Oh, trust the process. That's it. I think trust the process. You have to trust the process. Because if you don't, you're going to fail. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond. Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. And I'll be back with the second podcast talking about my marriages and why I am not married today. Okay? I'll see y'all in a second.